to what I said before is when Joanne Chadwick and I first went to the California Hall and observed the police photographing everybody, and then the first arrests were made, the spirit moved me to go back home and get my little pony camera and come back and photograph the police photographing us. The result was this little camera only took 8 pictures at a time, and then you had to change films. In addition to that, each flash bulb had a flash bulb connected to it, so you had to put in a new flash bulb with each picture you took. When the evening came to a close, an hour before it was actually supposed to end, because people were now panicking, afraid that mass arrests would be made, they started to leave. And when they did, one of the clergy would spread wide his jacket and trap all these drag queens underneath him to get out to the car. After doing this about 2 times, a police officer came and said, "If you do that again, you will be arrested for interfering with an officer in the line of duty." So the clergy had to stop doing that. At the very end, I was the last person who left. And suddenly, it was quiet. I looked at Joe and I said, "You take Patrick, a member of my parish, and go home. I'm going to walk home." And it's at that point I began to understand the connectedness between the various justice ministries that we all have. Because as I went down, the rage just swelled up inside of me. And as I walked back through the Tenderloin, I would take an individual flash bulb out of my pocket and smash it against the building as I went along. And then suddenly I looked across the street, and 2 police officers were in a lobby of a hotel. And I hated them for no particular reason, because of the injustice that I had suddenly seen. Yeah. And for the first time, I really understood what our black brothers and sisters had experienced in a similar manner over the years. I walked on home, and there was a fence outside my apartment building, and I stood there and I just wept. Yes. And then I said to myself, what the hell are you allowing these people to do to you? So I did the most important thing. I went upstairs where Joe and my parishioner were waiting, and I fixed a drink. And then the phone rang, and it was Ted McAvenna, and he said, "We're calling out a press conference tomorrow morning. Will you be there?" And that's the picture that you will see on the exhibit table over here in the other hall of the 7 clergy at that press conference the next morning. And once again, it made all the difference in the world.